Before I begin, I wanted to say that while I was editing this video, I saw the news that Princess Catherine has been diagnosed with cancer. No questions regarding her appear in this tarot reading. It is, of course, terribly sad news. I think most of us have known someone or have ourselves been diagnosed with cancer and can empathize with her and with King Charles, who is also undergoing treatment for prostate cancer. Prayers to the royal family, and we hope they both make a full recovery. Now, back to our regularly scheduled programming. Meghan Markle and Prince Harry. They had a rough 2023. Following the release of Prince Harry's memoir, Spare, in January, I feel like most people agree that things went swiftly downhill for the pair. You had Bill Simmons, head of Spotify, calling them grifters, which, in all fairness, they had roughly 3 years and a bevy of resources at their disposal, but produced less content than your average solo creator. 6 interviews. The podcast Archetypes was essentially 6 interviews. Late-night talk show hosts put forward more content than that, so I think the grifters moniker was fair. Also, South Park had a pointed go at them in the worldwide privacy tour. We want privacy! We want privacy! And Family Guy got in a few laughs at their expense as well.
Sir, your millions from Netflix for no one knows what.
And, to cap it all off, The Hollywood Reporter ranked them as the year's biggest losers. So not great, but it's now 2024, and the duo are rebranding, or reviving, the Sussex brand name with the launch of Sussex.com. And on March 14th, Meghan unveiled a lifestyle brand, American Riviera Orchard, and filed a trademark application with a plan to sell tablewares, cookbooks, jarred food products, and more. As of this recording, there's nothing but a logo printed on a photo of a tablecloth and a wait list on the website. But as I am more of a fiesta than a beige, I think I will pass on joining the wait list. Also, good news for Meghan. She was victorious in the defamation lawsuit brought by her half-sister Samantha Markle, after the lesser-known Markle failed to, quote, identify any statements that could support a claim for defamation or defamation by implication by this point. So said the judge, and I couldn't agree more. That was such a dumb lawsuit. Can we say money grab? Can we say petty money grab? In my humble opinion. And theories abound that, given the royal family's recent health problems, King Charles has been diagnosed with cancer, and Princess Catherine is recovering from abdominal surgery, that Harry and Meghan are being primed to return to the royal fold. Prince Harry briefly visited his father after his cancer diagnosis, but they only met for about half an hour, and Harry spent the night at a hotel rather than one of the royal residences. And Meghan and Harry's bios were recently removed or demoted on the official palace website. In place of their official bios, a link was provided to Sussex.com, so it appears that their website, their new venture, does have the palace's approval in some sense. So, now that we're all up to date, or at least up to date as of March 22nd, 2024, let us begin. And please remember, folks, these readings, they are alleged, and they are for entertainment purposes only. Let's start with the basics. What is Meghan's general energy? And we have Libra, which is a great card for Meghan. I know that she has prominent Libra placements in her chart, including her moon, so she is in her feminine energy right now. She is in a place of power or a place of strong emotions. At its best, Libra is diplomatic, it's gracious, it's in harmony with others. However, when that sense of balance, that sense of fairness is thrown off, they are a passive-aggressive nightmare. they can hold a grudge like no other. Libra Moon is one of those placements that has a reputation for icing people out, and we've seen that with Meghan. But, to be fair, they usually don't cut people off for just no reason. It's something that builds over time, and it's born out of the Libra Moon feeling as though they are putting more into the relationship than the other party, like they are being taken advantage of. They're the scales, so they're constantly measuring, tallying, keeping the score. So with Libra, I see her looking for or trying to maintain balance. She may also be collaborating. Libra, they want things to be harmonious and beautiful, and with this new lifestyle venture, I'm sure she's very focused on her aesthetic. Libra is also the card of the court system, so she's feeling good about how the defamation suit played out. It was fair. The judgment was fair. Overall, this is a good place for Meghan to be right now. Moving on to Harry's current energy, the last quarter moon. So, first thing that strikes me is the yin-yang quality of this card, the light and the dark in equal measure. This is a good card to get in relation to Meghan because they are both in balance, or they are both seeking balance. So it tells me that they're on the same page, they're in agreement, they are working towards a common goal. This is also a time for Harry to release. In astrology, the last quarter moon is a chance to reflect on the past, the way the moon reflects the sun, equal parts, light and dark. It's a time of letting go. And what can we expect from Meghan's new brand? She has the Four of Wands, which is, it's perfect. That's an excellent card to get. She is trying to sell homewares and cookbooks, and the Four of Wands is the stable, happy home. So that's a fortuitous card, or at the very least, it's an honest card. She is selling what she's peddling or what she is advertising. Based on these cards, I think Meghan is moving in the right direction. She is a Leo sun and a Leo Mercury, I believe. So this is somebody who wants to shine. She wants to be in the spotlight in some way. And it makes more sense for her to be something like an influencer than it did for her to be a royal. Harry is Harry. I'll get more cards for him in a bit when I ask about his relationship with Charles and William, but I will say I do think they're on the same page, at least. And up until now, I would say Meghan and Harry have made most of their money by, what's a polite way to say shitting on your family? Royal gossip? They've made most of their money on royal gossip, so can we expect that to continue? Or what can we expect from the Sussex PR machine in the future? And we've got the Page of Wands. The pages, they are messengers of the deck, and the wands are speedy, impatient, fearless, as they run headlong into a fiery chasm to save the rubber ducky that has served them so well. Never fear, little duck, for they have Jupiter, the planet of luck, on their side. They're like a damn cat.
I'm okay. Zoe, the fucking cats!
So this could represent off-the-cuff statements made without consideration to the other parties involved. Like someone asks Harry, "Hey, are you visiting Charles anytime soon?" And he says, "Yes, I plan on visiting my father next week."
To a British accent.
That he never told Charles, or the palace for that matter. In general, it's something positive, something optimistic, but it's got a childish or a naive energy to it. Think if the Parent Trap were to play out in real life. Long-lost twins meet at camp, then concoct a scheme to get their biological parents back together. We all know that only works because it's Disney. But the Page of Wands, they believe they can make that shit happen. And Judgment, that's the public, meaning whatever they say will be open to the public, will be fair game. It's not pillow talk whispered between two lovers. It's all over Sky News, the BBC, what have you. It will be judged by other people. So I don't know exactly what they're going to say, but it looks to me like they're trying to move away from the negative, from all the criticisms and the accusations that they've leveled against other members of the royal family. I mean, it could be that there's no financial incentive. It could be damaging their brand, or maybe they've just said all that they have to say. But I see them wanting to put a positive spin on things, wanting the public to be on their side. And with all this talk of their business affairs, is the couple in financial trouble? And we've got the Strength card in reverse, absolutely. They are in a vulnerable financial position. It doesn't mean they're destitute. It doesn't mean they're going to lose their shirts. But they need to turn things around. They've had too many brand deals that have fallen through, too many people that don't want to work with them. They're financially exposed, so too leveraged or too much of their money tied up in real estate or long-term bonds. And 8 of Pentacles reversed. That does not surprise me in the slightest, given the grifter statement from the Spotify exec and just the general lack of productivity. Like I said, they've had ample resources. People wanted to work with them when they first broke from the royal family. They were relatively popular in the United States at the time, and I know that people, they make fun of the U.S., and rightfully so. But we are a country that values the go-getter, that values hard work. And looking at them from the outside, it just seems like they haven't put in the effort. And this card, the 8 of Pentacles, is saying that their financial woes are because they didn't commit, they didn't focus, they overspent, they bit off more than they could chew, they made too many deals that they just couldn't deliver on. Let's move on from Harry and Meghan's business ventures and their finances to their relationship with the royal family. First up, we have the waxing crescent moon, which follows the new moon. So this is where we take our first steps towards a new goal. It's where we solidify our plans. We go from imagining the book we're going to write to putting the words to paper. So it looks like these two groups are coming to an agreement of sorts about the role they will play in one another's lives moving forward. To help clarify, we've got the 2 of Wands in reverse. So someone here is not on the same page. The 2 of Wands in reverse is someone who is holding on to a piece of their former life, their former self. Because we're in the suit of Wands, this is fire, this is Mars, this is aggression or resentment. The 2 of Wands is also about travel, about movement. So there is a resistance towards like emigrating to a foreign land, for example. So this could be about Prince Harry and his citizenship status. It could be about their children and their royal titles. It's also someone here wants to pin down the details, to come to a formal agreement, and somebody else wants to keep things open so that they can change their mind in the future. And the Knight of Wands. So we're moving from the page to the Knight. So once again, this is about moving from one state, the Page of Wands, which is the message, it's the opening, to the Knight of Wands, which is about taking action, making definite plans. I mentioned earlier that the Sussexes were demoted on the official palace website. Their bios were scrubbed and replaced with a link to Sussex.com. And I think that action is part of this. They, the palace, the royals, they want to lock this down. No half in, no half out, no part-time royals, none of that. They want it taken care of. They want it done with. But that 2 of Wands is holding up the process. They're slowing down the inevitable. I think it's more likely that these two camps, the Waleses and the Sussexes, are moving away from one another because that Two of Wands is resisting the parting of the ways, so to speak. So I don't see a reconciliation in their immediate future. I don't see Harry and Meghan resuming royal duties. I know people were speculating with all of the health problems that these two would step in to fill the gap left by Charles's and Kate's absence. I don't see that happening. Not with this trio of cards. And are they in contact with the royal family? I'm thinking of Charles, Camilla, William, and Kate in particular. And we have the Nine of Pentacles in reverse. This goes back to their financial problems, to that Strength card in reverse. They may be borrowing money, or they may foresee a future where they will need to borrow money, need to rely on the royal family or the royal name. So they're not totally cut off. They talk about wanting freedom, wanting independence, but Harry or Meghan or both are scared to go it alone, or they doubt their own value. This is also a person who inherits or who marries into money or status, so they don't want to give up the inheritance. They don't want to give up the titles, perhaps. This also circles back to that Two of Wands in reverse. It's time for Harry and Meghan to move on from the royal family, but one or both of them feel like they can't or they won't. And Temperance in reverse. There's some disagreement here. People are not getting along, which, if my brother spoke about my significant other the way that Harry spoke about Kate, I would not be in a forgiving mood either. And we did talk about Meghan's moon earlier, how that Libra can be very tit for tat, eye for an eye, what's fair is fair. I think Meghan and Harry are having a really hard time seeing where they have done anything wrong. They feel justified is the problem. Harry, from his perspective, he's like, I'm mad at my brother, so I feel justified in taking jabs at him, at his wife. And Harry doesn't understand why William doesn't turn around and apologize to Harry for whatever it is that Harry was mad about that set off this public expose. Then when William doesn't apologize, doesn't buy into Harry's reality, because why would he? Harry gets even angrier with William. It's really sad to see, not just for William and Harry, but for their kids, to have that inner circle, cousins to trust and confide in as they grow older. It's just a shame that it had to turn out this way. It's also interesting to note that Temperance is associated with Sagittarius, which is another travel sign. Once again, going back to that Two of Wands, a fear of travel, a fear of moving forward, of independence, of freedom. And speaking of travel, what did Charles and Harry discuss during Harry's visit to the UK? And we've drawn the Death card, which I will admit is a bit on the nose. This could be literal death. Charles has cancer. He is facing his mortality. And Harry is facing a world without his father. And the Four of Wands reversed. We had the Four of Wands earlier in the upright position when asking about Meghan's business, so this could be pointing back to Meghan, to the Archwell Foundation and Sussex.com, their financial woes, so on and so forth. However, Four of Wands reversed is also feeling unwelcome in one's own home. We know that Harry stayed at a hotel rather than at one of the royal residences, so this could indicate that Charles was putting up boundaries, wanting to keep some distance between himself and his tell-all son. And what about Meghan? Did Meghan come up at all during Harry's visit? And we have the Devil card. That's Capricorn. That's Kate's card. Princess Catherine is a Capricorn. And the Six of Cups in reverse. That is the past. It's siblings, so William and Harry. If Meghan did come up, she came up in relation to Catherine and William in some way. The Six of Cups is also, it's Sun in Scorpio, which is deeply concerned with privacy, which reinforces this notion that Charles was being polite, but keeping Harry at arm's length, especially when it came to talking about William and Catherine and anything that might be shared between Harry and Meghan that might get out into the public. And did Harry talk to William, or does he talk to William? We've got the Eight of Cups in reverse, which is the card of someone with, I would call it an avoidant personality. This is someone with a poor sense of self or of self-worth. They feel abandoned, and they tend to stay in bad situations longer than they should to avoid confrontation, or because they fear change or they fear being alone. And it comes with a whole host of problems, and this is bringing me back to all the things Harry has said over the years about being treated like the spare or like he was lesser than his brother. I think he feels abandoned by his brother, which to me suggests they are not in communication. Let's pull another card for this, and oh, for heaven's sake. The Empress, that's Diana, and the Hermit in reverse. That is loneliness and isolation. I don't even know what to say. Harry is so trapped in the past, in what happened to his mother, and this fear that history will repeat itself with Meghan, and in this inferiority complex he has where he feels as though he doesn't matter as long as William is around. Come on, he's a 39-year-old man. He has a wife and 2 children. He fled Britain. He moved to the other side of the world. He has distanced himself from the royal life, yet still, it's the same thing over and over again with this one. It just makes you want to shake him. So I don't think he's in contact with William. I think he continues to self-isolate, to dwell on the past. It's really unfortunate because I feel like Meghan, she's moving into a good place with this new venture. She is regaining balance, stability. She is looking towards the future, building, working. William and Kate, even with all of their recent troubles, you get the sense that they're moving forward, that they're getting on with life. Same with Charles and Camilla, but Harry, he's clinging to this fear that started with his mother's death and has gone on to define a large part of his adult life. So this meeting with Charles, it happened a few weeks ago, and we did just pull the last quarter moon card for Harry's current energy, which, like I said, is a card of moving on from the past. So I hope that he is moving in that direction, that this represents a genuine turning point for Harry. And I do believe that is all that I have to say about that. Thank you all for tuning in. Remember to drop a like on the video if you like it, drop a comment or a tip in the tip jar if you really, really liked it, dislike it if you dislike it, and until next time, bye now.